The story begins on a crisp morning at the military academy, where new recruits were bustling through drills and routines, their energy a mixture of nerves and excitement, and among them was a young recruit who couldn't resist mocking another for the visible scars running across her arms and legs, scars that spoke of past battles, resilience, and survival that he could neither understand nor imagine. His laughter echoed across the training yard, drawing a few amused glances from his peers, but what he didn't realize was that the woman he ridiculed carried with her not just physical marks but an unspoken legacy of courage, discipline, and victories earned in ways far beyond the classroom and drill field, a legacy that would soon demand respect in a way no taunt could withstand. As the morning progressed, the recruits lined up for inspection, the sun glinting off their polished boots and crisp uniforms, tension mingling with anticipation, when suddenly the commanding general arrived, a figure whose presence immediately drew silence, every eye turning, every heartbeat quickening, and with a voice that carried authority yet commanded attention, she began to call out the roll, calling each recruit by name and acknowledging their achievements. When she reached the scarred recruit, she spoke not just her given name but her call sign, a name earned through relentless training, battlefield bravery, and leadership under fire, a call sign that was recognized across units, whispered with respect and admiration, and at that moment, the once mocking recruit felt the weight of his ignorance crash down upon him, his laughter died in his throat, replaced by awe, disbelief, and the quiet shame of realizing that the woman he had ridiculed was not just a survivor of circumstances he could not fathom, but a decorated warrior whose courage and dedication had shaped her identity, her call sign a symbol of everything he had underestimated. And as the general's eyes met his, there was no malice, only the unspoken lesson that respect is earned and character is revealed in adversity, a lesson that would resonate in the halls, the barracks, and the memories of that day long after the drills ended, leaving the young recruit to reconsider his assumptions, his words, and the depth behind every scar, understanding at last that appearances are deceptive, courage often silent, and true leadership speaks volumes even before a single order is given. And as the day drew on, the story of the scarred woman who commanded respect not through intimidation but through undeniable valor began to ripple through the unit, inspiring peers, humbling skeptics, and leaving an indelible mark on everyone present, a narrative of resilience, honor, and the profound power of recognition that transforms ridicule into reverence. And for 30 minutes, viewers could feel the intensity, the emotion, and the lesson that sometimes the quietest presence holds the loudest impact. As the general continued her inspection, the recruits moved with renewed focus, and the one who had laughed first now carried the silent understanding that valor is not measured by appearance, but by action, perseverance, and the legacy one earns under the fiercest trials, a message that echoes far beyond the military yard and lingers in every corner where courage meets skepticism, leaving an unforgettable impression that would shape minds, inspire hearts, and redefine respect forever. After the initial shock of hearing her call sign, the young recruit who had mocked her found himself caught in a whirlwind of curiosity and unease, unable to look away as the scarred woman moved with precise, confident steps through the training yard, her posture calm yet commanding, the way she carried herself telling a story far beyond any uniform, far beyond any drill. And whispers began to spread among the other recruits, each murmuring about the battles she had survived, the leadership she had demonstrated under conditions most could never imagine, and the sheer strength required to turn pain into purpose. As the general continued her inspection, she briefly stopped beside the scarred woman, exchanging a few words that were inaudible to the rest, yet the intensity of their interaction rippled across the formation like a silent shockwave, and the mocking recruit felt a knot of realization tighten in his chest, sensing that there was a story, a legacy, a truth that he had not only failed to recognize but had insulted. And as the training exercises intensified, He watched in disbelief as she executed each task flawlessly, running obstacle courses with a speed and precision that left others breathless, handling firearms with a calm efficiency that came from countless hours of practice, and issuing commands to her peers with a clarity and authority that instantly earned their trust, proving that scars were not signs of weakness but symbols of survival, resilience, and an unbreakable will. And every time she turned her gaze in his direction, he felt the weight of her experience pressing on him, silently teaching him humility, patience, and the undeniable fact that courage often comes wrapped in silence and scars, that true strength is measured not by appearances but by the trials one overcomes. And by the end of the day, as the sun dipped low over the academy, casting long shadows across the grounds, the mocking recruit realized he had witnessed something extraordinary, not a woman marked by her past, but a warrior defined by her ability to rise, inspire, and command respect in a way that left him and everyone around him profoundly changed. The following days only deepened the lesson, as drills grew more intense and the scarred recruit found himself paired with her for various exercises, initially dreading the partnership, expecting harsh discipline or dismissal, but instead discovering a methodical, patient, and fiercely determined mentor, someone who guided him through grueling challenges with a quiet authority that demanded focus and respect. And as they worked together, the other recruits began to notice a shift in dynamics. Whispers turned to admiration, skepticism transformed into awe, and the once mocking recruit could no longer dismiss the undeniable skill, courage, and leadership she radiated, seeing firsthand how each scar told a story of a mission survived, of danger faced head-on, and of a determination that refused to yield to pain or fear. And during a particularly rigorous field exercise, when a simulated ambush tested the recruit's coordination and composure, it was she who instinctively took command, directing movements with split-second precision, identifying threats, and orchestrating responses with the calm of someone who had been in far more dangerous real-world situations, leaving everyone including the mocking recruit silent in amazement. And later, as they gathered around the campfire, her stories emerged gradually, not as boasts, but as lessons in perseverance, courage, and resilience, and he listened, captivated, as she recounted injuries endured, missions accomplished, and moments where every decision meant life or death, realizing that every word, every scar, every call sign was a testament to a life spent turning adversity into strength. And by the time the day concluded, the young recruit had not only shed his previous arrogance but carried with him a newfound understanding that respect is earned, humility is necessary, and true leadership is silent until it is undeniably proven, leaving the training grounds forever altered by her presence and the echo of lessons that could not be taught in a book or a drill but only lived and observed, embedding in him, and every other recruit, the profound truth that courage, once witnessed, reshapes hearts, minds, and the way one views the world around them. The following week brought an entirely new set of challenges, as the recruits were taken to the rugged terrain of the Academy's outdoor training course, a place where only determination and skill could overcome obstacles, and it was here that the scarred woman truly began to shine, not through showmanship but through quiet, unyielding competence that forced even the most skeptical recruits to follow her lead. The once mocking recruit, now painfully aware of his previous arrogance, struggled to keep pace, yet couldn't he help but observe her calm under pressure, how she navigated treacherous paths, scaled walls that seemed impossible, and coached others with patience and precision, correcting mistakes without a hint of condescension but with the weight of authority that came from experience. And during a simulated crisis, when alarms blared and smoke filled the training field, it was she who calmly assessed the situation, issuing concise instructions that saved the group from failure and chaos, every movement intentional, every decision a reflection of countless past trials where hesitation had meant danger. And as her peers executed her orders flawlessly, the mocking recruit felt the sting of humility once again, realizing that true leadership is not about power or fear but about knowledge, skill, and the ability to inspire confidence even under the most extreme conditions. And when the exercise ended, the general herself commended the unit, emphasizing how the scarred woman's guidance had been the deciding factor in their success, leaving the recruit with a profound sense of awe and an understanding that the lessons she imparted extended far beyond physical strength. They were about courage, integrity, and the unshakable resilience required to face any challenge in life or combat. By midweek, the Academy introduced a team-based simulation designed to test strategy, communication, and endurance, and this time, the stakes felt higher than ever, as the recruits had to navigate complex scenarios where a single mistake could cost the team its success, and once again, the scarred woman emerged as the lynch.